Okay, so in this video, I want to cover how pretty much everybody can effectively use artificial intelligence in your everyday life to make pretty much everything easier, right? The biggest productivity gains do not come from working faster. They come from working on the right things. That's one thing you want to make crystal clear. Everybody thinks it's all about just doing things faster, easier, over and over and over. When in reality, you just want to make sure that what you're doing is the right thing to be doing, right? AI excels at systems, repetitive, step-by-step processes that follow the same pattern every single time. These cyclical systems are gold mines for AI automation. The whole point of this video, by the way, is for you guys to understand how you can use AI today, whether you are an electrician, right, doing different things, working with different clients, you are an accountant, you are a dancer, I don't care who you are, what you do. There are ways in which you can use AI to make your life a little bit easier. Right? If you guys can't stay and watch the video for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, teaching you about the most important technology that's growing every single day, probably more important than the internet, then this video is definitely not for you. I recommend you click off now. Right, now let's get to it. There's a couple of different systems, right? I just want to quickly show you before we talk about these different systems, the simple raw impact of AI on the world. I asked Perplexity, which is a deep research AI last night, to give me an idea of how AI is being used in the world and how it actually helps save a lot of time, money, energy, and how it makes productivity very, very high. Right? It says here, AI is a general purpose technology, GPT. There's a growing consensus that AI, particularly generative AI, qualifies as a general purpose technology. Like earlier GPTs, such as the steam engine, electricity, and the computer, AI is expected to drive long-term productivity growth by transforming processes and enabling new capabilities across a wide range of industries. Let's say I asked you, you were given the first few models of the computer, and I told you right now you could master that computer, or you rather had the opportunity to go back in time, master that computer, and then go ahead and live out your life from that point on. Do you think you would have been able to use that technology better than others, which would have allowed you to become pretty profitable at some kind of business, right? Especially when most people brushed off the computer and didn't care about it, for sure. Same goes for internet or electricity or steam engine. I mean, the early adopters and people who are first to the show, to the party, always get rewarded, right? These are different, metrics, right, within different business areas, different industries, where there's a quantifiable impact. So McKinsey, I did a study, 20 to 30% of overall operations and operational cost reduction can be expected, right, within workflow automation. This is simply just going ahead and being effective with what happens first, second, third, fourth, just everyday operations within business, right? Efficiency improvement over 40%, customer support, cost reduction up to 90%. This is probably the best thing that AI can be at. Task handling, time reduction, right? AI agents, ServiceNow AI agents, marketing, supply chain logistics, right? Procurement, maintenance. Look at the different percentages, right? The improvement and the cut of costs. I mean, this is a really big deal. Pretty much every single industry is going to have AI completely revolutionize how profitable and productive you can be, right? And these are some of the different, other numbers that show you how AI can be used, right, for all different types of different applications, these are institutions and sources, right? AI-driven productivity increase approximately 0.7 over the next 10 years. That's not bad. Global AI size, right, $3,527 billion by 2033. So here's just a breakdown of why AI is so important. Number one, data processing system. So basically where there's repetitive inputs and expected outputs, usually just numbers, right? This is going to be customer feedback categorization, weekly sales reports, invoice processing, inventory updates, that sort of thing. Next is going to be communication systems. That's what AI is great at. What interactions are a common occurrence, right? What kind of communications are repeated constantly in your life? Whether that's customer support, ticket routing, if you're a business owner, meeting scheduling workflows, project status updates, client onboarding sequences. This is huge as well. And the last one is decision-making systems. Where do you find yourself repeatedly forced to make decisions that might take a lot of time, or where consistent outcomes are of great importance? Think about you being, let's say, a business owner again, or let's say even a student for that matter. And you've got to decide what you study first out of the 5 or 6 different classes that you have. and you know for a fact you need this grade in that class and this grade in that class, this is how you perform so far, and that's how you've performed so far. And if you give AI this information, and it can properly assess it and break down to you mathematically what you should study first and second, in what order and why, it can really help you, save a lot of time and be far more effective. Right? A couple examples of where this can be used is content approval workflows, right? Lead qualification processes, quality control checklists, resource allocation decisions. Pretty much how people expect AI to be used in the future is AI does a lot of the work and labor for people, and human beings will be, end of the day, deciding whether or not it gets approved or not. But the coolest thing is when we can use AI to help us make decisions, that makes our decision processing even more effective, right? Now, identification process. How can you tell what you should use AI for? How can you tell, right? Because there's so many things you do every single day. Here's the process, right? Step one is going to be track your patterns from 1 week. Every single time you do something that feels familiar, write it down. If you've done the exact same sequence of steps more than 3 times, it's automation ready. Meaning that you go ahead and you write a certain email every single Monday to your boss, and that's first, that's second, that third, or you send out 3 emails in a row. It's always that person 2, person 3. It's automation ready, right? Next thing is going to be looking for cycle indicator, right? I do this every Monday. I kind of just touched on this. This is the same process as last time. I need to check the same 3 things or 4 things or 5. This follows my standard procedure or SOP, standard operating procedure, right? So you want to look for this to be a cycle, something that repeats over and over and over. And the last thing is map the decision points. So basically, if you know that you're performing the same thing over and over and over, figure out exactly where you make the decisions. Where do you need to stop within the system, make a decision, and then keep going, right? Basically, you want to help AI understand how and why you make the decisions that you do. Okay, most systems have 2 to 3 key decisions that determine the next steps. If you can articulate the criteria you use to make these decisions, AI can make them too. For example, me talking about what I'm talking about today, right? Me planning out a YouTube video. Really, there's not that much of a decision-making process besides the fact that I've decided I want to talk about something I'm interested in, right? But if AI was to know, supposedly, let's say I wanted to script out all my videos. If AI was to know all the different things I'm very interested in, and that was the only thing that mattered, I could give it a whole pool of subjects that I'm interested in, and tell AI to choose one of these every single week on a Monday and script out an idea for me where I'm going ahead and talking about something interesting for this or this or this subject. It could do it for me, meaning I don't have to sit down and choose, but it can evenly, if I ask it to, choose this subject, that subject every single week, right? That's one decision less. Or I can explain why I would choose this subject over another. Right? Maybe it's based on the weather, maybe it's based on how much time I'm working, maybe it's based on something else, right? So you want to map out the decision points. And which system first, right? Follow the 80-20 rule, pretty much Pareto's principle. 20% of your systems probably consume 80% of your repetitive work time. Identify these heavy hitters first. Pretty much figure out what are you using the most and what systems take the longest. Which systems can pretty much serve you the most if they were automated and completely gone from your life, right? For each system, document the trigger that starts the process, right? So what you look for and what needs to happen for you to start. Each step in the sequence, right? So what you do in order. You want to document the decision criteria at each branch point, right? So when there's multiple things, A, B, and C, you want to figure out how AI and how you, for that matter, decide whether or not you do A, B, or C. And the last part is the desired output or outcome. You need to make crystal clear for yourself, and more importantly, AI, what you're looking for, right? Where do you want to get to? Then you want to build the AI system to handle the entire workflow, not just individual tasks within it. Right? Some of the common mistakes people experience are, number one, automating tasks instead of systems. Right? People will ask AI to write out a whole email, when in reality, if AI knows how long you've worked somewhere, what your relationship's like with your boss, what your goals are within the business, how long you've been dealing with said problem, it can go ahead and write you an email with so much more context, right, within a system, where if you wanted to go ahead and nurture a great relationship with someone, You can make AI help you write an email to them every single week based on their interests, based on your experiences with them, and you can be much more custom tailored instead of just going ahead and having AI write you one email at one time at one point in your week or day. What this means, keeping the human in every loop, is that if you still need to be very, very attentive to the automation and you have to be there watching it the whole time, you've not really automated anything, right? You want to get to a point where you don't really need to keep your eye on anything way too much, right? You want to have that kind of delegation. And the third mistake is starting with super complex systems, right? Don't get me wrong, that's what you want to get to and that's what you want to level up to, but at the very start, starting with something that's very complicated and hard to understand isn't going to serve you, right? You're going to make so many mistakes and it's going to be very unclear on how to actually fix them or get better, right? So that's how you want to kind of go about it. Pretty much what you want to do right after this video is, of course, subscribe and like if you're enjoying, right? But most importantly, you want to identify 3 cyclical systems that you do every single week. And stop being a highly paid data entry clerk, okay? Stop just going ahead and doing the same things over and over with AI without building out systems that automate things for you, right? Go ahead and follow this right here, which is number 1, track your patterns for 1 week. Number 2, look for the cycle indicator. And number 3, map out the decision points and then focus on the systems that are the most important, that take away the most of your time. Guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. It's been a simple video. I want you to all start using AI ASAP. It's going to help you out a lot. This has been Michael. Catch you on the next one.